In the shadow of the world's end lies a realm untouched by man, shrouded in ice and whispers of madness. It is a land of desolation, where the sun's rays are swallowed by the biting cold, and hope is but a distant memory. Here, the ground creaks underfoot, groaning with the weight of the secrets buried deep beneath the layers of frost. No one knows what prowls the endless expanse of white. Monsters that slumber in the depths of the glaciers. Spirits of the lost who wander without rest. They say the blizzards carry more than just snow. They bear the screams of those who have dared to venture too far, too deep into the heart of the unknown. The land of Boreal.
All right, what?
Hello, Ethan. You might remember me from such names as Trams, Tons, Dante.
No, I did not write that.
As who?
I don't know.
Shit. Religion checks are insane right now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of the Boreal.
Heyo.
Hi.
If you're new with us here, we're the Mortal Woes. My name is Justin, and I am the Dungeon Master for this particular game of the Mortal Woes, and I am joined here with some of the Mortal Bros.
Hola.
Yo.
So, why don't we go around and introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
We'll start over here with Ico.
Oh, actually.
I'm Aiko. I'll be playing Zane, the human fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm Mama Woes, and I am playing Lilith Winters. I'm a sorcerer.
Lilith, demon.
My name's Etna. I'm playing Corbin Sunfeather, cleric.
Yes.
Yeah.
Corbin.
Support. Heal me.
Judgment.
I don't know about support. He sounds like he's going to be on the offense.
Judgment.
I'm Theo, and I will be playing the Drow Warlock Grazilix.
Rosalix.
Grazilix. More like
And Drow what? What'd you say?
Warlock.
The Drow Warlock. Alright. So, the last time that we left off, we had a bunch of camera issues.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were planning our very first convention, so anybody who came out to that we met you guys there, or you were able to come out, thank you so much. That was,
Heck yeah.
oh my god, that was so exciting, right guys?
It was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, super fun. Super fun. We got to run new games for a lot of people, and that was very, very exciting. And we had this whole game was, there's a lot going on other than this game. And we live streamed our session 0. And then we live streamed our first launch session. And now we're here. And so I, as a dungeon master, like to build worlds around my players, right? And that's what I like to do. And I don't think I hit the nail on the head, So what I'm gonna do is, well, we are going to do something a little bit different in the beginning of this, and we're going to move to something a little bit more traditional. something I think is better fit for our table, which is you guys at home, if you're a player or a DM, perfectly fine. Retconning, readjusting, doing all that, because we're all here to.
Fun.
There it is, right there. So I'm glad you're here with it. We're on the same page. We're here to have fun with each other, right?
Here to have fun.
That's right. And I found out that the way that I like the story and the way that I was trying to do things was not the same kind of fun everybody else is trying to have. So I would like to start out by reintroducing the Boreal Wilds in our setting. Sound good with everybody? Nice. Far to the north, of the continent of Numestria, lies an icy shelf, unexplored, savage, almost uninhabitable, but along its very rime, where the cold spray of the ocean clashes into the stark, high cliffs of black stone, are several tribes of people, each of different races and different belief systems, but all of them crafted of generations of survival. And what was once here long ago is now gone. Magic, feared amongst the people, a war of the witch fire. Almost 100 years passed, at least, since the last witch fire. The tribes at war with each other came to a common enemy. This fear of the unknown, this power of witches and covens. At the keep of Frosthaven, a young king went on a crusade, trying to band all of the clans together. Each with their own kings and leaders, and not wanting to bend or break to another. Generations of survival, nothing could kill them. The strongest survived. Why would they follow? So, the Boreal clan was proposed, a treatise, a trial by quest. Bring forth what you could improve yourself. A relic. Something that shows an item that shows what you have done for the betterment of all. Then and join the clan hold to work together. And from these tests, the relic that you provide being a testament to your strength, you would sit at the head of the table. So the king of Frosthaven brought forth the crown of the Witch Queen, ending putting out the last witch fire, and ending, disbanding the last coven. All had failed before this, and it was a clear sign that the king of Frosthaven should sit at the head of the table. Go forward almost 100 years. Overwinter. Every winter, well, What's the name of your kingdom again?
You just mean like the town or the city?
Mhm.
That would be Knoxstad.
Knock. Stad.
Yes.
Knockstad.
Nachtstad.
Knockstad. In this realm, there is more than just the overworld, living upon the ice and permafrost and in the evergreen and boreal forests. There is a subterra where the drow live, are dark elves, and they already have an established king, protected within the mountains, through the tunnels that lead to this kingdom are not only treacherous but are labyrinthian. The only and would not stand to be not called king, well established before the tribes of the Boreal and before the Boreal clan hold and treatises proposed, would mean an adversary. But the good king of Frosthaven granted an enmity to your people. In doing so, you would have a place in the council, but you would not have to bring forth the relic or prove yourself, right? You would not have to fall under the clan hold, but this is to keep a peace between two nations. Knockstad, was the only civilization within this rhyme that did not, choose to call the head of the seat king, of the clan hold king. So, every overwinter, ice starts to climb down from the mountains, and life begins to become very difficult. During that time, the clan hold all comes together in Frosthaven to settle the differences that they've had the entire year. And your people send out advisors. And you've been doing so for a long time. That's where you met all of our other players. Okay. You joined let's go to our other faction. You're part of a faction. What's the name of it?
Churches and Buried.
Okay.
They didn't have like an actual name that I know of. Not yet, anyways.
Not yet? Okay. Sandaria is the god of
Flame,
flame,
fire, sun.
fire, sun, light, brilliance.
Yeah.
Nice. Smiting, Justicars and Templars. A driving force and the only magic that is safe and recognized after the War of the Witchfire. And a neutral party in the governance of the tribes. As a young man, Corbin went through a test and was found to be filled with the fire and light of Sandaria. You went into the fold of the Church of Sandaria where you learned to harness and have that power. You, when our story starts, you are now a fully fledged acolyte. One of the lower echelons of the church, but with free to do as you will, and hold all of any type of position that justifies any of traditions or, as it were, throughout the tribes. You could settle disagreements and you could verify things. Lilith, your character was found to be filled with a different type of power. Witchcraft. And living in this dangerous time, you have secretly been trying to understand it and hone it, but it's obviously been very difficult for you. Knowing that if you show your power and the wrong person sees it, you could be hunted just as everyone else was. And Aiko, your character, once a part of one of the greatest tribes, one of the second strongest tribe, almost the head of the seat instead of the king of Frosthaven. A child of the leader being sent to Frosthaven to keep their peace. Then, as a child, something bad happened, and you were accused of killing the eldest prince of Frosthaven. You were alone and you were all together. But instead of throwing you in prison officially, causing war, you were moved to a particular part of the castle where you had free reign, of course, as a ward, but you were buried beneath the mountain, as it were. This overwinter, as all of the tribes move in, squabbling and pettiness of everything that they've been trying not to fight over, waiting for overwinter, mixed in with the excitement and ceremonies of this city of Frosthaven, kind of welcoming all of the tribes in. There is a whisper of the king's health. We meet a couple of the other tribes. Lilith finds herself in the library in a reliquary, forbidden to most, where they keep all of the items and anything about witches. They keep them locked away until they can be burned. We find the prince, the second son, king of Frosthaven, wanting to reunite with you guys. Then the king calls forth. I forget what your character's name again?
Zane.
Zane. The king calls forth Zane, who has been locked away, and some letters come up showing a difference in what Zane was experiencing and what the king had been told, written by Zane to the king, but you had never actually written them. Somebody is trying, there's something going on there. The king, in his last moments on his deathbed, decides that he will address the council tonight, and he will right the wrong of throwing you beneath the mountain, having you, having facilitated, even though he was tricked by these letters he thought were from you, of excommunicating you from your tribe, and as an act as a king to kind of bond, bring forth and bring together all the tribes. And so you're all invited to the dinner, this opening dinner. So, So we can do a couple things here. We can role play through a tense, or through this dinner scene, right? And do all that. And I could talk, and I could role play the different tribal leaders and the things that they say, and what you guys eat and stuff like that. But that kind of political thing didn't hit quite right last time. So this is why I'm being a little more ham-fisted, a little bit more upfront, instead of instead of trying to role play through the setting and what the world is, just telling you guys so we can get to something a little bit more familiar, right? So during this dinner, the king does not come down. Instead, the prince does. Bells ring. The king has passed. King's last words was were that Zane, to declare Zane's innocent. As you were all there, you arrived with a party of with the Church of Sundaria, and when you arrive, coming through the doors, you arrive into a very tense moment. Yelling around the few advisors for Noxstad, most of them ancient, old men. You're the youngest. Also, advisors and not warriors, right? It's not a show of force. It's you're here by you were protected by the king. You and Zane and Lilith sitting at as the prince's guests and the king's guests with Grix, right? Grix with Grix now find themselves kind of surrounded by these warlords and tribal leaders, and they show up in force, armed, right? As to let the other tribes know that instead of killing you, we came here, but we could have. And now you're kind of surrounded, and you hear the tribal leaders calling into question the clan hold. Who is to lead it? Before the prince can speak up, or they're shutting down his ability to. He hasn't proven himself. He didn't bring the crown of the Witch Queen. His father did. And the clan hold is based off of what you had brought forth. Which means that there's somebody else calling themselves king. And so this tension of whether or not you're actually, the king's last words, nobody heard them. Prince doesn't have any power to say that, you didn't do, you didn't kill a prince or whatever. And so there's this tension. The leader of that's with you in the Church of Sundaria calls forth a trial by quest. So all the clans can bring forth a new relic, or the relics they already have, to a show of who should be at the top of the clan hold, just as before. The prince addresses you guys. After things have kind of settled down as the night has gone on, within the week or two of like this tense tension in the castle, has come to you to ask you to find him a relic. He's always looked up to you guys. He can send out other people or whatever, but he's hoping that you might be able to do something, and he has a few leads. And he gives you a map that has a few covens on them. Locations, these ancient ruins that have already been destroyed and gone through, but maybe there is something there. In doing so, he would have the power to keep you of the king's last words.
Mm-hmm.
Also, continue the allegiance between the two nations. they need that somebody has to oversee the legitimacy of it. The Church of Sandaria is, a representative of Sandarian is, truth, right? And well, I mean that he's never seen them go anywhere without Lilith, and it'd probably be best if you didn't get caught in the relic. If you get out of the library and you weren't caught in the reliquary again after the prince had seen you inside there. So that is the quest. That's like what's happening in the world. Any questions about that? And what are you guys thinking?
So, Zane's freedom can't be granted until the prince has the power to do so. Is that my...
Zane's freedom is under question of the king's last words.
Very unofficial at the moment, but yeah.
And then since there's like no...
The evidence that Zane has otherwise is a stack of letters written by someone else saying he's guilty.
Has anyone stepped in? Like, who is currently in control at this time?
Currently, with the Church of Sandaria coming in, the clan hold is being, it's like on hiatus kind of, right? It's this thing of it's fine, we're just gonna elect a new leader. And so they've shifted focus from the squabbles to one of you guys could have power instead, which is been appealing to the other tribes. Because there is no conflict, right? They don't resolve, or they don't try to resolve conflicts until they come to the Overwinter and the clan hold, right? So they're still kind of putting that stuff on a back burner, so that way they can become leader and they can just get what they want. So there are several parties going out, trying to, bring forth trophies and relics or something that proves their power, so that they can not only be a part of the clan hold and not get absorbed by another tribe or another clan, but be potentially the king of the clan hold. And all that you can see that in Frosthaven, it is the resources that have been funneled into it make it outstanding amongst the other tribes. It's carved into a mountain, like where all the other tribes are a little bit, they don't have the same, resources over these years to be able to create such a vast city. This is the largest city, on the Boreal, in the Rhine. So nobody is in charge, but you do hear. Go ahead and roll me a. What would you use while you're like moving about? In these next, like, let's say there's like a week or 2 weeks or something going on, within these tensions, guys, where you can like find out what you want to do, plan, and whatnot, right? So as you're,
would probably use my political influence to try to just gather information from people to see, like, who people are allying themselves with, like, where is everyone's allegiances going? Does the prince even have, even if he brought an item, would I be able to ascertain, like, are people planning to overthrow him anyways? Like, do people abide by this?
Yeah, okay, so like the legitimacy of the clan hold,
yeah,
and all of that. Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. So you want to get your ear to the ground, right? Okay, cool. What skill would you be using, do you think, that would fit that?
I suppose.
Feels like a wisdom kind of thing here. So it's not like, so intelligence being, these are the rules and this is how, like this is the law. But a wisdom thing is, are they going to follow the law? Almost. Or even a charisma thing of,
Yeah,
You know, making
I was
somebody
kinda, like,
comfortable enough to tell you the
thinking
truth.
maybe like using, my own political position to
Mm-hmm.
kind of sway people to provide me information, or use that to be able to get information out of people as well.
Nice. Okay. So everybody has so in the new 2024 rules, there's everybody gets heroic inspiration, and I believe they get that at every long rest.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Do I get to reset mine from us ending last time? Because I did use mine last.
You used yours last time, yeah, and there will be long rests. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to over the course of these weeks, I think humans get heroic inspiration every time they long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then everyone else gets it awarded to them most likely at some point. So sorry, I haven't read all the rules for 2024. So what I want to do is everybody's going to get heroic inspiration that they can use for this, right? Lilith, you'll get 2 because you're human, and I want you guys to use this to like influence like your role or like what's happening here as we're setting this, your political power. So that's what you're going to be using. Okay. And you can use your heroic inspiration to make your political power have some sort of truth or whatever moving forward, right? Right now, it's you were. Let me ask you this. Noxstad is basically just keeping tabs on the overworld, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Nobody visits Noxstad. Nobody's let in. It's only you that come out.
Yeah, people I feel like who have actually went there in attempts to, do what we're doing in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Usually either just doesn't end well, or they're too afraid to go back.
Right. Like, yeah. So nobody finds themselves in Noxstad. There are no adventurers. Like, there are nobody dungeon delving in there. You're brought there and brought out. Okay. So then there's not. So the mystery surrounding the Drow, right, and the Subterra and Noxstad are all. It's kind of adding to the confusion and the tension. So your political, you're trying to do this politically, charismatically, by being like, well, you don't want us to do that thing you're scared of, or hey, we can provide you with something, or what have you. We can help you get to a seat, like if you,
Promise of favors, or
yeah. Like, what are you trying to do? So you want to try to okay. So go ahead and that would be charisma then. Okay. Pick one of your charisma skills to use in persuasion or deception or.
for the inspiration, is it a thing where you have to call before you do the roll, or is it you roll and if you want to use it?
So with the heroic inspiration for this particular like setup here. So our goal here, guys, is to like set the tone of how your guys' characters are experiencing the world I set up, right? So that heroic inspiration, you use it and you can just basically say a truth about what's going on, and it'll give you advantage, right? So you don't have to do it right now. There will be a couple rolls here.
Okay.
Yeah. So which charisma skill are you using?
I'll use persuasion.
Persuasion. So you're persuading people that you will be
Either, well, shoot.
that they'll be safe and they have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I guess it'd probably be more deception. 'Cause I
Ooh.
feel like I'd be promising people like false favors, and
You're deceiving them. Okay. So you're lying to them about what it okay.
I got a 15.
A 15. All right. So with a 15 in deception, you find that the head of Zane, the clan that you were part of. Do you remember the name of it?
Almasy.
What was it again?
Almasy. Almasy.
Almasy. Okay.
Wow. Mounts. Banner, hand squeezing a heart.
Oh yeah. I forgot what we called it, but the Almasy, right? The tribe of the Almasy. They immediately are like, it's you're not. No matter how close you try to get to any person in there, whether it be, you just talk to like somebody who's like tending to their doors, or you try to the one time you did kind of approach the leader, Zane's father, it was not good. They do not trust you. They do not trust Noxtad, and they are running on the platform if they are the leader of the clan hold, that they will bring this other king a reason to show their face, or a reason to fear the rhyme, or a or a reason to fall under the fold. They're like promising conflict, and like how they're appalled, and how dare they not be a part of the clan hold. Like it's the fact that you're just allowed to come in, like they're spying on us, stuff like that. They don't trust it. Yeah. The prince is kind of like he's believes you, like he believes you. He wants to give you everything, but he's like he has no idea what he can do that's going to really like you guys are kind of a last resort for him. The other tribes are back and forth. They like what the way the clan hold used to be, and they're scared if Almacy is in charge. But they're also scared of not being on their side if they do get in charge. Like what that could mean for them if they're like stood against them and then they're in charge. So they just need something like. Most people are like, well, that's nice and all, but Noxtad doesn't show their face, and could you provide power? So like maybe you're promising.
Perhaps I can arrange a contract with the Black Blades. System.
And so you get there are a couple tribes who are like, oh, you would give us mercenaries, right? Like you would loan us troops, kind of thing. So there are people who like this idea of you helping the clan hold whoever is in power have more power than like balancing the power against Almacy, right? But then Almacy hears this Black Blades as rumors spread, and they and there's tension there where they think,
Actually, during that time, can I get send a message back to my father to have a Black Blades contact sent
nice.
to
How would you send that message?
by whatever actually
So
I'll
say
I will send Zaldin, the person that came up here with me.
your guy. Nice.
Send him back personally.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna send Zaldin back. Good. Zaldin prepares and does go back, but it's gonna take a while to go there.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yeah, it's not really immediate, but
well, here's why. The overwinter has iced over the paths and roads already leading from not the roads that you take out of the mountains from Noxtad are iced over, and one person might be able to trek this or whatever by themselves, but it is a very treacherous thing at this point. Like they're going into the mountains in winter, and then to get there, and then come back. And that's one of the reasons that we all come here during overwinter. But then particularly Noxtad is so safe because of this. It's already hard to get there, but overwinter makes it almost impossible.
I'll have him take the longer route but safer route and have him travel south through Everfrost down into the mainland and enter through lines of
cross the sea.
Yeah. So
okay.
So it'll definitely take longer, but it'll be safer.
So you're gonna have go ahead and roll. That's your inspiration.
Okay.
Cool. I love that. And go. Why did Google just recording everything I'm saying? I mean, it already does that, but I mean, not it was. I can see it on my phone this time. I don't want to be aware of
I can't
it.
believe it told me.
Yeah. All right. So, think about what using your inspiration to like try to get him there. Just think about what you want to do with that. What else does everybody else want to do? We'll just switch over. See what everybody else wants to do.
Corbin.
I would be kind of sticking to the shadows in the keep itself.
Keeping a low profile,
Mhm.
as it were. Yeah.
Finding out, finding the, presumably criminal contacts that would, like sneak stuff into the dungeons and stuff like that.
Okay.
For mainly the purpose of getting them to do intel work for me and find out what routes the other questing groups are going to take.
Oh, so you want to find out about the other groups of... Okay. Cool. Absolutely love that. So, go ahead. So that's how you're doing it. What skill are you going to be using, or do you have a background feature or anything like that? Like, what do you...
I mean, I don't know about features exactly, but
Okay.
if nothing else, I would resort to intimidation as a second resort.
Second resort? Yeah. Sure. Intimidation would be... in what way? How are you intimidating people to...
Well, because I would presumably have proof that they've been criminally keeping stuff down.
Blackmailing.
Right, yeah,
Blackmail.
absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And so you're putting some spies in, as it were. Go ahead.
13.
A 13. Okay. So, you find out that the Almacy clan is okay. So quests. Each group has a representative of Sundari going with them, right? For the legitimacy of the quest. Most of the clans are just returning to quick trip style, small groups that are going back to their tribal, like the keeps and back home, grabbing the items that they have already collected that they keep safe, bringing them back, right? But there are 3 other than yourselves that are trying for new quests. Almacy is going on a hunt for they're going on a hunt. Is it monster? Or is it what do you guys think? Are they hunting down some sort of monster? Or are they hunting down a powerful spirit animal, or a the sun stag of the mountain, some this great super powerful entity. It's not a monster, it's not aggressive, but it is, it's been around forever or whatever, and it's
like an omen, like the white stag. Or...
Yeah, exactly, this kind of this creature that is this ancient kind of protector of the wilds, or the largest deer that's ever lived, kind of thing.
I figure they would
a monster.
Probably be more angled toward a monster, especially if they can trace its lineage back to this was made during the War of the Witchfire or whatever. This is some magical beast that's
Nice. Okay. So they are hunting down. It is something of magic.
it makes sense.
Nice. Okay. So they're going to go to the... Oh, God, I've got all these... Let me pull up the name of it. Let me pull up the name, guys. I've got these cool names.
Now we're going to have to hunt for a Wendigo.
Right? like a Wendigo, like a
Finally.
cryptid, right, as it were.
Imagine after talking to the Almacy. They and your people are stubborn as the beast that they ride on.
What are you trying to say?
They wouldn't budge. They don't want any of my help at all.
Of course they wouldn't. No, we're gonna have to crush them.
You're gonna crush your own people, I suppose.
They haven't helped me.
They haven't
out
been
any.
your people for quite some time, have they?
I would be disappointed if they were anything other than bullheaded.
What do they listen to?
Like heavy metal. I mean, like just strength as far as I'm aware. I'd imagine that my dad is, big, burly, old, fucking like Viking style.
Oh, he's the and what's your race?
Human.
Human. Okay, you're human.
Human.
So your father is also human. He's definitely one of those guys that are like, he's old, but only in the crow's feet and the color of his hair. That's the only reason he's old. Every other part of him physically is impressive. And that's and the wisdom and his
He's not
gravitas is that of somebody who has been around, been in power, kind of accomplished anything they've ever sought out to do. And just years of that come with him. There's a truth to that kind of exudes from him that is attractive, and that is encompassing a safety. He's never failed. And it was only through the Church of Sandaria and the actual Witch Fire War that this crown of the Witch Queen was such a powerful relic that that could not be disputed, right? That was the only reason the Almacy weren't at the head of the clan hold to begin with.
So how pissed do you think he would be if he found that you ended up on top?
I expect the old bastard to probably be kind of proud. Not that I give a crap.
Inside you.
I haven't seen the guy since I was fucking so high. Like, although it will come out in our discussions that at some point in the past month, I hired some from in the dungeon, hired some criminal contacts to go and kill 50 Goliath sheep, out where they were at a while back. I just remember that from session 1 that
Wait, Goliath's sheep?
yeah.
Sheep that Goliaths own?
Yeah.
Or Goliath sheep?
No, the
that
sheep that the
Goliaths
Goliaths own.
Okay.
Yeah, go fuck with their herds for a bit.
Okay.
One thing, I definitely, probably when we're together at some point during these couple weeks of planning and preparation and stuff, I'd come up and drop the scroll down at the table. I have a backup plan. Or redemption. If they don't grant you freedom, we'll get it for you.
I appreciate that.
Pilgrimage to the tree.
Roll me a history, religion, or other intelligence check that would. What is the name? What did you just present?
Horus Redemption. The pilgrimage for
Horus.
Boris.
Yeah, the Oris Redemption.
Yes.
Okay.
Something I found during my
During your studies.
studies. Yeah.
Okay.
Pilgrimage of what?
So pilgrimage to the elder tree, which we have one on the Boreal continent. Somewhat destroyed, but beyond that, we just have to get a branch, bring it back, and you're expunged.
If we fail to
Right.
get our primary goal,
17 religion plus 9. So
26.
I'm schooled up.
Yeah, you really know your stuff on that.
This is like
What'd you roll?
27 total.
27 total.
Or
Okay.
26 total. I keep
It's good.
hitting this because it's under my legs.
It's under your legs.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just,
I'm just every time you hit it,
so
just
Monica can hear me.
every time you hit it, tell me and I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you know about the this Oris Redemption, it's a forgotten and no longer used law of the Church of Sandaria, right? Which kind of fold into the legitimacies of what the tribes follow, especially since there are no more witches and there are no more spirit healers and shaman to guide the people, right? The only other sort of rule that isn't just conquest is this Church of Sandaria, which is already based on conquest. So this kind of law, this decree, this writ, it allows you to do something like, you know, go on this pilgrimage, collect this thing, and then bring it forth to like the clan hold and say, hey, this is like to kind of say, I was there. He spoke the truth, and if you're able to hold the branch, it is said, you are able to call forth the truth or whatever. It can't. It's like it can't be questioned. But it would also allow for you to protect the Noxtad as well as calling forth them an ally. But, or if Lilith was ever discovered as to be a sorceress, right? You could, protect her as well. Maybe saying, she's a good witch, or however it were, right? Whatever the situation calls for, but only one. It's like you could quest up there, you could get this, and then you could call forth some sort of truth, but you can only do one, right?
Burn her at the stake with Sundarian fire.
And if she survives, she's a witch, and if she dies, then she's not.
Anyone else see a problem with that, or?
Checks out. I mean, it all checks out, man.
Yeah, no, I'm stupid. You're right.
Well, it's not that. You're just confused. It's fine. I can see where you would get confused.
One too many pit fights.
Yeah.
Too much light.
Yeah.
It's funny, the only people who call into question the laws of Sandaria are witches. You're not calling into question the laws of Sandaria, are you?
No, I just run the
Yeah. Oh my god, I left the oven on the stairs.
I've got a poop.
Oh my god.
So the Almacy clan is going to go after the beast of the Rathmore blood fountains.
Oh, they're dead men. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. I just know that
Yeah.
with that name, they got to be dead
The
men.
beast of the Rathmore blood fountains. The Rathmore blood fountains are a site within the rhyme here. What were we calling it again? This aerial and the boreal at the bottom. Did we call it anything yet?
What? The Shelf or Evergloam Keep? That's the only names I'm.
The Evergloam Keep, Frosthaven, and okay. So there's the Keep, Frosthaven, the tribal area, the Shelf. in wilds, and I'm calling this. There's like this small cropping of wherever all the tribes are at the farthest south part of this giant icy continent. Where it meets the sea is like this rime, right? So it's a area within the rime where no tribes live, and none call it in like part of their territory because there was a war there during the Witchfire, and ever since that war, spilling out from underneath the ice is this like liquid that it looks like blood. It's like blood red, and it spews forth like geysers from underneath, and creates this. It doesn't freeze the same as water does, so it's this strange kind of like, it's like rolling like this, and there pits of this dark, deep red blood that are almost mirrored like on the surface, and then like mounds of ice, and it just goes for miles and miles. And within that is this beast that is said to tunnel beneath the ice and like burrow through like a worm, right? And it hunts within the Rathmore blood fountains. So they're going after the beast in the Rathmore blood fountains, which would open up huge areas for to connect more tribes and provide more resources, and also show if nobody else has ever killed it, they just stay away, right? Then we have you guys, the prince, and he is promising to the people the same, keeping everything together, but he's banking on you guys to uncover a relic or some vestige of that was left behind, right? To clean up wherever, like his thing is, if the Almacy clan or one of the other clans went in and destroyed this coven, but they didn't do it correctly. Look at all this other stuff. And the more you guys collect, the more he can be like, look at all this witchcraft that was left behind to hurt the people, and dumping out a bunch of just gold and gems, and it's like, look at all this treasure that that you've been sleeping on, kind of thing, while you argue about sheep and territory and all those things. Then we have two more clans. You guys name another clan for me.
Well, there was the Goliath clan, wasn't there?
One of the Goliaths.
I don't know what their actual clan name would be.
The Goliath clan plans on going to the Fell Gorge and going to the Fell Gorge and bringing so the Fell Gorge is a giant maw within, like, in the ice, this huge cavernous expanse, Grand Canyon style. In the Fell Gorge live a tribe that is unwanted, basically. These are they are the bastards beneath Fell Gorge, and these are the people who don't fit in, who get excommunicated and all of that, get thrown into the Fell Gorge to live there, right? Like a leper colony, and they are going to go to the Fell Gorge and to have to bring them in, not as a tribe, but to bring them in as like a resource to be used to open up more areas and clear paths, and kind of like slaves, almost like use these people, instead of just having them cast off and thrown aside. And then the last group, who's the last group?
Before I changed to this character, there was a group of like giant battling bugbears.
Ah, yes, the bugbears. Okay. The bugbear foundlings. This is the one that is the most interesting in regards to what kind of quest they'll bring with. The bugbear foundlings are going to send out groups of send out parties, right, to follow other people and to try to either beat them to the punch with what they're trying to accomplish, take it from them, or help them, so that they, to bring forth. They are basically aligning them. They're trying to manipulate the situation. So they are the bugbear foundlings are the most equipped to live in this environment and travel around it, as it were, to live in a more to live and during the overwinter and to move around it, and it's not as hard on them as it is everyone else. This is kind of their deal, right? And they're the only tribe as well that is shamanistic a little bit. They kept on the DL or whatever. It's not witchcraft. It is just a different way it's a different way that Sundaria speaks to them. The old ways of Sundaria, as it were, rather than the new. But they are trying to play at living more comfortably, stopping people who might stand in the way, or helping people that might, push their initiative forward. And you said you're gonna try to get. Are you? So that's the information you get.
Well, yeah, they're more or less doing what I was kind of planning on doing, which is potential. Well, what I really want to know is mainly the routes that they're going to take, so that we could intercept any of them if needed.
Got you. Well, I will say that. So that you find that out, and you want to know who's doing what. So the bugbear foundlings are gonna be doing the same thing that you were wanting to do.
Right.
So that's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't be able to follow their routes.
Right.
They're very secretive. The Goliaths are going to the Fell Gorge. And the Almasy are going to the Rathmore Blood Fountains. Yes. It's a cool last name, isn't it? Immediately, yeah.
Then once I have that information,
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the basically just trying to go sow a little preemptive discord. Go to the Clan Almasy representatives, and basically kind of subtly or not so subtly imply that they're I mean, you're of my stock. You're strong enough to do whatever you want on your own, and anyone that comes at you, you'd put them down easy.
Okay.
Just trying to preemptively drive that wedge in there, so when the bugbears do show up to them, they're more likely to fight each other than work together.
Interesting. Okay, so you're trying to sow the seed of the Almasy clan within the own clan, whether or not they should even be considering being part of the clan whole.
Not really. More so that like on this quest in particular, like I go to the questing group specifically, if I could, and just sort of, you know, so like I heard such and such the giants and the bugbears are going to try to work together. It's pathetic. That they would need to work together. Like the Helmsy clan is strong enough to do it alone and will crush anyone who tries to stop us.
Okay. So I kind of see where this is going. All right. So that they don't use any other outside resources that they blah blah. Okay. Well, the king, your father, is going on this quest himself, and he's taking the most powerful people with him, right, to march out. And I think, in fact, I think the entire Almacy party, caravan is going. They're all leaving, and they're all coming back. It's like we're all leaving and we're all coming back with this feast. We don't need to stay to overwinter here. We're too strong. So
just
go ahead.
stoking on that.
Go ahead and roll a deception, right? And if you want to use your inspiration, you can get advantage.
Yeah, I think I'd better.
Okay. No.
7.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not really deception.
All right. What would you use instead?
Persuasion. I think.
Persuasion. Okay, go ahead and add your persuasion.
Well, if that would be the case, it'd be 9.
9. Okay. So you don't. Okay. So you don't really influence them in that sort of way. But the reason is you never get audience because your father was told in those letters and by the king that you
Or some kind of son of a bitch.
well so your father didn't excommunicate you for your crimes, right? He would instead have stormed Frosthaven and Evergloam Keep to break you out of this place. Instead, he was told that you denounced your tribe and what they stood for. So you never, and so you never kind of get that audience with them, and so unfortunately, once
it becomes clear that he's not going to see me, I'll just head back to the keep and when we meet up later, let them know everything I found out.
But what is known with that advantage, what is known is that they do know that the bugbear foundlings are trying to, they don't know why or what their goal is, but they are going to be messing around. Okay, what's Lilith doing as she prepares?
So I think I'm gonna share with, or I'm gonna try to get with Corbin.
You guys can, so it's several weeks, so you guys can.
So he's here at this thing, and I'm gonna try to get him to decide over what
You guys can, it's
I found
weeks
out.
of hanging out, right? So you get any scene anywhere in the castle that you guys can meet up is fine. I'm sure.
Well, first I want to tell him because I don't want to get seen back in there near that. But
Gotcha.
I kind of want to let him know that what I observed.
Tell
I was in the library and I was doing my work that I do in there because I actually work in the library with the old Gracer. That's the old lady in there.
I would say
nosy.
that all of you guys are here too in this scene. Is that okay? If they're in there, okay. So you guys are all in this.
Well, yeah, because we're kind of. But what is the door? What did you call that area where all the squirrels are? You called it something's.
With the squirrels?
Squirrels.
Oh, squirrels. The squirrels?
I heard squirrel.
Yeah, I mean, squirrel. Yeah,
I can't help it. It's the southern thing.
You listen here. It'd be all right.
And man, magic squirrels.
Squirrels.
What
was I was calling it a.
You had a special name for that.
Squirrel lips.
heap that
The reliquary.
the reliquary.
Yeah, this reliquary.
So, and it's guarded all the time. And the guard got called away, but he left it open. So I was doing my work and pushing my cart, and I just kind of peeked in, and next thing I know, I'm just in it. Like, I didn't actually step in it. I was just at the door.
So you know that nobody's allowed in the reliquary. It's like treason.
Yeah. So when I was in there, I knew I had some time, and I was just kind of looking around, and I observed some things. There's still some magic in there.
Okay.
There's something glowing, but there's scrolls that I think you probably need. Because aren't you a cleric? I think.
Was it acolyte of
Yeah,
Zendar?
yeah.
Yes.
So-
Representative of the goddess.
So I wanted to share
He
that
has
because
magic.
right.
He's allowed to.
And then they came back, and I also had a note that was in one of the books.
You found something. You've yet to look at it.
And I already forgot what it said.
So you took something.
Mm-hmm.
She took something.
I took something and it dropped. It was on the wheel, and I noticed it. So I hurried up and, I dropped a book, grabbed it, took it away, and I went on. Then the guard got in trouble for leaving the door open.
You were there for that.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, you were there.
And
I did stick my neck out
mm-hmm,
for you, of
I
course.
appreciate it.
You just appeared in the room, like you
Yeah,
said.
I don't know what
You didn't
happened.
walk in.
I put one foot in the door threshold, and it
That's
pulled
usually
me.
how it goes, and then another
No.
foot, and then another foot, and then all of a sudden you're in the room where you
It
shouldn't be.
pulled me in. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out myself. So things are happening. More things are happening, and I'm just trying to figure it
So
out.
you were forcefully into the room against your will. It wasn't
I just
curiosity.
I just feel there's something that's not right. And then they come in. I see people when I'm working in there. They come and go, but I don't know where they go with all this stuff.
And what did this
So
note
then-
say?
Oh,
Then
so
Zane might have an idea of where some of this stuff is going.
So you say you see people come and go,
Mhm.
and Zane might know.
Mhm.
Okay. Would you like to use your inspiration?
Yes.
Okay. So using your inspiration,
Mhm.
which you have 2 points of, there are very few people who come and go. The prince, right? And so the reliquary holds all artifacts from witchcraft, gathered from across the land, and during the Witchfire War, they were destroyed, right? So they're destroying anything about witchcraft to protect the people. And the people who come and go, so if you find something, they put it in there. There's a keeper, right? That like a head archivist, who the master archivist, and he has the key. He's the only one who has the key, so he's the only one who can let people in and out. And when they put it in here, then somebody takes it to be destroyed, right? So the prince is one person who destroys this stuff. We've already established that because he came and showed to take something destroyed, but he showed you first about. Yeah.
Did he destroy it, or
I
are
don't-
they keeping items?
I don't know where they go with it.
Who else have you seen that somebody you know or don't know? Pick one. Somebody you know, somebody you don't know.
Mm.
Somebody you recognize or don't recognize.
Someone I don't recognize.
You're gonna say you want it to be somebody you don't recognize.
Mhm.
So there's somebody that you don't recognize, and are they hooded, and wearing are they wearing something that stands out as not being an archivist, or having badging or something, or are they kind of just dressed regular when they come get it?
Yeah, they're just going to be regular
Okay. Okay. And what race?
human.
Human. Okay. Human.
That would have really been good to say bugbear.
Mhm.
You want to be bugbear instead?
No, I'm going to do human.
Okay, you're gonna do human. And then so they're human, and their clothes are typical,
Just
atypical.
a regular commoner clothes.
Ooh, okay. Commoner, who you never see inside the castle or in
Right, and
in
I've
the
been
rel-
there for a while.
Yeah, but in the libraries and things. This commoner, and what is one outstanding feature about them? Male, female,
Male with
Okay.
a tattoo on the cheek.
with a tattoo on their cheek.
Mhm.
Roll a perception check for me.
Witchcraft.
Indubitably.
6 perception, you said?
Mhm.
Just 16.
Just 16.
Just
Yeah, I don't have
16.
no.
Level 1, just 6.
So it's 16 total.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, you don't add anything to your perception.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, 16. What is it a tattoo of?
Let's say. I'm going to draw it.
Okay.
Kind of like a diamond with 4 dots.
Ooh.
Like that.
All right. Nice. Okay. So that, and then there is one person that you do recognize, and they have a relationship to one of the other organizations we've already established. And I want to make it Sandarian. So, who's somebody that destroys relics for Sandaria?
And most likely be whoever the leader of the, what do you call it, like branch here.
Of the okay. Okay. So some a Sandarian priest or priestess exemplar. Yeah. What race?
Tiefling.
Tiefling.
Mm.
Tiefling. Okay. So tiefling, and male and female.
Female.
Female tiefling, and she is the resident like Sundarian priestess.
Be like lead priestess.
Right. Like stays in Frosthaven. Doesn't travel. Stays in the Evergloam Keep. Anything? What your title or anything special about her?
Zandaria lead.
Nice.
What do you say?
Good.
Hi.
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. I'm gonna call her a solstice.
Sure.
I like that. She's the solstice. Yeah, which is a position of a really high position of power. Okay, so the solstice will come also to collect things and destroy them. So those are the three. Those are the people that you've seen. Now, so whether or not Zane knows them or has any information about any of them that's a point of inspiration kind of thing of like, it's tricky here. But okay, so there we go.
And on that parchment, remember there's a symbol that I didn't recognize.
Mm-hmm. On the parchment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
on the little piece of parchment that I got.
Yeah.
And
What else?
also,
I don't remember what I described about it.
we didn't. It just said, you just said a symbol that I didn't recognize. I don't think we got to the actual symbol.
Did you ever, the thing that was on the wheel, did you ever open it?
No.
You never opened it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You just told me it's going to be a symbol I didn't recognize.
There would be, yeah. Okay.
But also to let them know that I did observe down on the last row, the letters in that row were glowing. And then I got the heck out of there because I heard
The
talking.
letters, like as in handwritten
No,
parchment letters,
no, on the end
or
of the
like
aisle.
characters.
Yeah, the character out on the aisle there, they got symbols and
Okay,
letters.
gotcha, yeah. I was making sure it wasn't
And,
like letters on a shelf that were glowing, like
Mhm.
stacked letters.
And we didn't determine which letter yet that was glowing.
You
It
could.
was too far away anyway.
Yeah, you
it was
couldn't
just
see.
glowing.
Yeah, you rolled so poorly in that.
Yeah, it was.
I was
bad.
like, oh, dude, this is so fun. I'm gonna give her something
yeah,
cool.
it's just glowing.
I was upset at your dice, honestly.
I know.
I was like,
it was,
I was like,
horrible.
the first thing that you do with this character is immediately go into a place that you could be killed for and try to steal something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, heck yeah, let's roll. That's adventure stuff right there. And then you rolled so poorly.
It was bad.
Yeah.
The good thing, old Gra stuck up for me.
And the prince as well.
Yeah.
The prince was there as well,
I think
helping
they
out.
kind of read it on my face.
Yeah. And I think you could read on from the conversation that you guys had. The prince knew you were probably up to no good as he.
Because he's really on our side, technically, right?
Like he looks up to you guys, you know.
Someone has to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the little brother,
Mm-hmm.
you know. He was like the little brother, always wanting to tag along.
So you insinuating that they're keeping witchfire artifacts in this room and not destroying them?
No, I
They're
think
definitely keeping them in there. by
we're
the way.
keeping them in there.
That's the whole purpose of it.
Mhm. And I don't know which ones or what they are taking out of there.
I don't know how many times I've advised them that is not a good idea.
I just stay to myself on that.
If you were able to just walk in, then that means anyone could just steal
Well,
whatever they please.
That was just because there was ruckus going on and he got called away and he left it open. And I was just kind of peeking.
So you're saying anyone can just cause a distraction
They probably
and
could.
walk freely in and take.
So I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know what happened in the hallway. I don't know.
Especially those with
Mm-hmm.
superior talents, let's say.
And Zane wouldn't know because he was downstairs in the dungeon.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
we don't get many scrolls down there, I'm afraid.
Squirrels, though.
Squirrel. You might get a squirrel.
Tons, actually. There's a really bad infestation.
You guys can roll for if you want to know anything about the symbols or you want to know anything about anything that's been brought up. You know, like
You said there was stuff written on the note that you couldn't read.
I
she's
had
never opened it up yet.
I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Where do you get? So you've
But
had it for
I'm-
a couple
I
weeks
have-
in these tensions.
I
Where have you
have
been hiding it?
I have a hidden. I made like I have a belt and I have like I made a hidden slit in
hidden
it and I
seam, yeah.
split it in there and so it's in between the leathers on my belt.
And you kind of been too scared to even show
Mhm.
anybody it.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're showing us.
Sure. Can I roll to see if I recognize it?
So let me pull it
I'm
out.
gonna pull it out.
I like the religion.
So there is a scroll. It's all crinkled. It looks like it got caught under the wheel of a cart a little bit and pulled out. There's like a little, you know. As you guys begin to open it up and unfold it, it's about. So it's kind of small. It's only about this big, and the bottom is torn a little bit. And it is. It looks like an excerpt from a like a journal, right? Very similar to the note that the prince showed you. Somebody's accounts of what they had found, or how of like witchcraft. rather than a actual piece of witchcraft. So as you look at it, what languages do you guys read?
Common, obviously, and Dwarven here.
Human, Elvish, Draconic, Dwarvish.
Common Dwarvish.
They're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking it's my glasses falling out, but it's y'all's.
I'm trying to blow it off camera right, but
Queen
it's
Baker
over
over
left,
here.
isn't it?
You're like, no, it's just swirling. It smells good. That doesn't bother me at all. Did my air conditioner turned over to heat?
Remember, it's in a weird spot.
What are you looking for?
Proficiency's in.
Oh, your
Language
languages.
nice, I think.
Yeah, I got layers.
I have deep speech, undercommon, and elvish.
Ooh. Alright. Nice. So we have we have Dwarvish being like the common, seems to be common.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially in like the Frost Haven and Evergloam being a dwarven, being a dwarven society. All right.
But we ain't got no dwarves.
If we run into any of those, not yet. We're
Good.
Right.
I mean, they're notorious to like secret, right? They wouldn't be just out and about in force.
Oh, it's in the PhD.
Yeah, I think I thought about dwarves, and I was just like, no, I'll just stick to undercommon and maybe the Duergar or something more associated.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I had not thought about the Duergar being a part of the world yet. I haven't needed to.
Same.
Never needed to.
Until now.
I'm gonna look up languages real quick, and I'll tell you what language it's written in.
Almost.
Okay. All right. Written in Dwarven. Or no, I just rolled a one. It's written in Common, so it's not a secret as to what it is. This is an account of from a reporter within the Witchfire Ward. So they weren't a soldier. This person, there are many of them, but their whole thing was to try to kind of understand and uncover as much as they could to be used, in during the war efforts, right? And this particular excerpt is about coven. A witch coven is a witch alone is powerful of their own right and regard, but there is a ceremony that witches perform to create a coven, and it can only be done at places of power, right? Kind of these ancient, like standing stones and altars, and they're often around sepulchers, and the sepulcher is where a witch would kind of their lair. They would find these places and like these caves and crypts and carve them out, and that's where they would begin to perform their ceremonies. And so it's on covens. It's on how, or like why they're created, and locations of coven. And on the back of the note is about a half. It's half of that page, so it's half of a map that has coven locations listed on it, and some of them are marked as. Some of them they have various markings on them, but there is no compass. You said you wanted to roll a check on this, right?
Well, before we knew what it was, I was gonna religion it. And see if I can get any.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and roll a religion check on it.
The 26.
It's solid. Dude, those corners are sharp. You said 26 again? Insane. Okay, yeah. So you absolutely know you actually know who wrote this because of a marking in the corner. This is it was written in common, so it was an acolyte of Sundaria who wrote this that is no longer alive. They died of old age, and they were after being moved slowly through a bunch of different positions to as they comfortably aged and died. They were revered for their findings, right, and for their efforts during the war. And on the back, you see the markings. So you see the locations of various sepulchers. All of them have the markings of being found, being sundered, and then being what's a cool word for took all their stuff and emptied it out. What's a cool religious word for doing that?
I don't know about religious, but plundered comes to mind.
Plunder, yeah, like religion, but a righteous plundering. Sanctified. Except one. One of them is marked as being similar to sanctified. It is marked as being sealed, but not sealed in the sense of like sealing a jar, but sealed in the sense of a religious, in a religious sense. It is not marked as being sanctified or being sundered. Rather, just being sealed, being as it were, right? And then you also see that each of these locations are the sepulchers were not like finding a sepulcher is not that special. Some of them are just a few feet deep or whatever, but these were all vast, and each of them had a coven, and each of them was a place of a witch fire. This is where witch fires could be lit, that where witches could draw their power from, and a witch fire allowed them to create coven.
I just had a very bad idea.
Oh no.
I'm gonna get up, make double sure the door is locked, like peek around, make sure there's nobody in here.
Perception?
14, 13.
Oh no.
The door handle kind of twists, like it's gonna.
I'll just grab the nearest bookshelf or something and just
move it over. Okay. You're like, I have an idea, and you start sliding bookshelves and yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? So, whoever comes back with the most impressive thing wins. What?
Right.
And hear me out on this.
What a simple way to put the conflict of people's lives and nation. And
what if we come back with a new witch queen?
Burn her at the stake. When we get back, of course.
Or she enslaves everyone, and then we rule with justice and other stuff. No, that's a no. We're putting that in the no.
I mean, we can still rule because we've enslaved everyone by bringing back the coolest treasure.
There's all this talk of how to light a witch fire, and I mean we have a no offense witch.
I like this idea. Except for the ending.
We'll workshop it. We'll
And as you like finish that, we have the map from the prints, right?
Mhm.
Compare them with the locations,
With the locations.
which didn't even match.
Okay. Survival.
Well, my people do have plenty years of experience with slavery. I suppose we could help in that regard.
14.
A 14 on your survival. So so the small map that you have is it's very little markings on it. They're all you recognize them through your religion, right? And what they mean. You narrow down an area where where these things are, right? But with a 14, it's hard to. The map that the prince gave you is of certain locations, but it's the scales are different, right? And
We can ascertain cardinal directions on it, though.
yeah, like well, you have so it's like let me tell you where it is. You know that so you recognize something is going on with my friggin' phone. Every time I go to use anything, it takes forever to.
Google.
I have my notes.
Oh.
I'm going into my notes, but yeah, every time I open up Discord, it takes it just sits here and just
Yeah, it does it here for some reason. I don't know why. It does it to me too. I had to take my Wi-Fi off.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, we're
Here we are.
pretty big gig.
All right, so you know that it is in the Drakenfell Maw.
Draken.
Drakenfell. The Drakenfell Maw.
Circle it on the. Make note of it on the prince's map.
Mm-hmm. The Drakenfell Mall, and you can see that was one location that has these sepulchers that have been, already cleared up and whatever, right? Like this is a place where you guys could go into play to the ones that have already been sanctified and sundered, is what he was suggesting, just to see if if you guys can hit a couple of these and just bring back totems and effigies or whatever, something to impress the people, right? More than what's in the reliquary, which is just seems to be a lot of these just like accounts of the war and not scrolls and spells and wands and things. Those things seem to have already been destroyed. And Drakenfell Maw is a to the west, and it's a passage through the mountains to the west that it's called Drakenfell Maw because this opening through this mountain passage is has a giant dragon's fossilized bones, right? So the entirety of Drakenfell Maw, miles and miles, is kind of moving through the fossilized skeletal remains that have been kind of unearthed by the weather over the aeons and millennia of this creature that existed long before. It's like 100-foot tall that you kind of walk into.
A good idea. Now put this away.
I'll just fold it up and put it back in
Your
my
little
belt.
one.
So you know it's in there. You roll 14. If anybody else, I mean, you could try to pinpoint it now or later, even as to the exact location. If anybody else is good with survival or whatever, you know. You have 1 point of inspiration left, and you guys have inspiration as well.
I think mine was used on sending my guide back home.
Nice. Oh, that's right. So it'd be nice to have a guide now, wouldn't it?
I don't know, like his efficiency,
Well,
beyond getting us to the key.
So yeah, so you guys have your inspiration to do your things. Yeah. Whatever you need.
I want to try and get access to the reliquary from the prince, since I am an official acolyte now.
Of the church. I think you would have to go. You'd like to get access to the reliquary. I think the person who would give you better access than the prince, who has kind of little control here, is the solstice. Or so you could go through the solstice, you could go through the prince, and then you could approach the master archivist yourself, or break in. So as avenues of trying to get into there, right? So which one would you like to do? I'll say consequences.
I recommend not breaking it. Piece of advice.
I mean, this could easily become Ocean's 11 all of a sudden. That'd be fun. So consequences. Approaching the archivist yourself might afford you the most direct access, and if you guys got a little black. You can tell he can be scared and blackmailed, right? So you get an advantage there, knowing how to manipulate him, but then also you have a limited amount of time before it reaches other people as to why you were there, right? So that's one way to get direct access, but it might come back and bite you in the ass. The prince consequences there are you could be seen as playing like the legitimacy of the church's position towards each individual's each of the tribes, like playing favorites, right? And then conflicts of interest. Yeah.
Is there some arcane holy law that you can use to justify you needing to personally look over something in there for potential heretical reasons?
That's what I was
So
thinking.
we
And with the solstice, the consequences there are kind of being denied access, or even or having to destroy something that you want to keep, right? Like it's like, oh, of course, oh, wonderful that you're taking on this responsibility. Of course, I'll show you how we destroy these things, and then you have limited time with the thing that you get, as it were. As the solstice would be like holding your hand to. Anyway,
I have an idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the solstice.
You are gonna go to the solstice. Okay. So this solstice. Solstice's name is Freya. So his tiefling is really dark, almost like a dark, almost bluish skin. Her horns are they're very symmetrical, and which contrasts with the bright golds of that she wears of the Sundarian church. And she welcomes you in. Please come in. Young acolyte, what can I help you with?
I would like to go to the reliquary. That's not something they teach, and I need to know about it. We're going on these quests. I need to validate what is a relic and what isn't.
Interesting. Go ahead and roll persuasion for me here. Or, well, access to... Why are you accessing the reliquary again? Literally for that purpose?
For legitimacy of what the group I'm going with, like what they're...
Got you. So it is for that. This isn't for deception to, like, just get access to the reliquary. Roll deception. Yeah, just because the thing you're saying is true doesn't mean that's the... You're not being deceitful.
9.
9? I believe... Were you not given the light by Sandaria yourself to know, be purposeful? You're a full acolyte now. You should be able to recognize these things and with certainty be able to rend them and sunder them from this plane. Were you rushed through? I heard that you were a bit of a...
Top of the class.
Mm-hmm. Then... And then she she goes to like place her hand down to almost like to intimidate you, and she knocks over a bottle of wine, and the bottle falls, and it's completely empty, and you can see that there's all of these like the clan hold, and like there's all this like political stuff in front of her, and as you're looking at her, she's like a bit foggy-eyed. Oh, and she like picks the bottle up, and you can see there. You don't see more bottles, but you see a couple corks. Of course, top of your class. Just testing you. Joke. It's a joke. Yes. I'm sure that would be fine. But it would have to be later. I'm a bit, and she kind of glances at like an empty goblet. Tired, as it were.
When?
Roll, okay, so, soon. After this, okay, so here's what happens with that. We need to roll something here. So, do you want time for you guys to get out there? It's either going to be early, so you get a head start on everybody else about the same time, or a late start. And this is going to kind of determine that as well, if she's going to, like where that's going to be. Okay, so a week's time. Meetings, and the master archivist is in his quarters, as it were, and not going to the reliquary. But in a week's time, I can arrange this. You know that the solstice is meeting with some of the other acolytes and of Sundara. There's like a lot of...
Just write me a note, and I'll go myself.
Oh, since... unfortunately, the archivist is the only one with the key. The archivist can no longer Um, so,
Get in trouble.
so the archivist, right? Like she gets into like a little gossipy mode here. What were we saying? There was a. I heard there was a bit of a snafu. Nothing happened, but there was a. This cannot leave the office, but an unauthorized entrance into the reliquary, and
Ooh, could have done that.
that was not said. But it did come on high. It did come on high that the archivist he's getting on in age and maybe a bit forgetful, as it were. So the whole thing and to replace him would typically be easy, but now with the clan hold and of course we have to catch up with with the everybody in the church. My duties there as well as with the goings on of in a week's time the reliquary will be accessible again, but until then it's truly inaccessible unless you know how to pick a lock.
Good jokes.
Thank you. May the light of Sandaria burn all who forsake us.
Bow and.
Alright.
I'll just do it when I get back.
Okay. As it were. In a week's time is about mid timeline for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a late start, but it's not an early start, right? Most people are taking about a week or so to gather their things, figure out what they're going to do. Some people are staying to figure out what other people are doing, So there is that, right? Yeah, a week's time is about a normal-ish, like a decent start.
I'll send a note if I'm going to be there. If my group wants to.
Well, be thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all right.
Huh?
Good night. Been on my heel.
Okay. All right, bye. All right. So, yeah. So a week's time would be most people, gathering resources, figuring out where they're going to go, this and that.
But I'll let the group know. That way, if they want, they can make a decision if they want me to go in there or not.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to leave early, we can leave early. If not,
So do I know when there are times when the guy is not at the door from being in the library all the time?
Yeah. So the reliquary is locked with an extremely dwarven masterworked kind of bank bolt lock system thing. And and he has the key, as it were, to lock and unlock it. There's only one. And and he's kind of technically somebody still has to have the key, but he's not allowed to use the key, but and they're trying to keep it under wraps that they're gonna replace him because then he might use that power before they're able to shift it to someone else and kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah. That brings us to about 8:20. Okay.
so,
8 o'clock. About 8 o'clock. Okay. So I think Night Fury, do you know how to send us a break?
Should be good.
we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna take a little bit of a break, and
Bye,
we'll get the details of All right, everybody, welcome back. Okay. So, week's time passing before we head to the reliquary. What would everybody like to do in that week's time? We'll go over here to the side. Is there anything you'd like to
Gear and transportation for the environment that we are.
Gear and duo provisions. All right. So you wanna prep yourself. The
If not already supplied by the prince, since we're doing it for him.
so you guys are going to.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
we could establish that.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we doing this for the prince, or are we doing this on our own, or are we doing this on our own, and the prince is under the impression that we're doing it?
Yeah.
I like that one. Just cards on the table. I do plan on leading some kind of mild prison reform / prisoner revolt, depending on how far things go when we get back. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think at least keeping the prince on our side for the time being. And if we coup him, like, we're not going to kill him or anything. Keep him around,
So I'm just saying, I think
history or whatever.
my father would probably foot us the bill to be able to travel and have all the gear we need, but if the prince could supply all this,
That was kind of my assumption, is the prince was going to provide that stuff. But I guess it wouldn't hurt to, like, actually talk with him about it.
yes, let's take it up with him.
Okay.
We do also have a potential plan to get into the archive early, because the archivist still has the key, right? And he's old, and I mean, everybody knows he's going to drop dead in a few days or months or whatever. Anyways, so what if we abscond into his room, and he has a brain hemorrhage and dies in his bed? And then the key goes missing.
Why don't we just borrow the key?
He would rat on us in an instant.
He wouldn't. Yeah, he's skittish anyway because he already got
What
in
if he
trouble.
was just asleep?
Okay, well, we'll keep murder as a plan B. You're right.
I wonder if he wears that key all the time, or does he have it hanging up or laying around?
Sure, he wears
You've never been in his
Well,
room.
Yeah.
Seems like it's pretty forgetful. I mean, he left the door wide open, I'm sure.
I'll see if I can
That
pull any
hard.
strings to make sure that any of the corrupt guards, the one that would like slip us stuff, are on duty in that wing tonight. So we hopefully will run less risk of getting caught. If you all are down for it. I don't know what we stand to gain out of this room. It seems quite important to y'all, though. So magic, I should hope.
mystery, magic.
There definitely isn't a. You guys haven't established a need to get anything from the reliquary, right? Like, so there's not like, oh, we have to get into the reliquary and get something particular,
Well, I've heard
or before we leave, and a time frame, like, and we need it now.
that like witches or wizards or whatever used to put their magic onto scrolls, and then they can cast it from those. So maybe there are some of those kind of scrolls in there we could take.
I was thinking advantage for the race. Some sort of advantage in there.
Thoroughly loot the place on the way. I'm getting some bugbear hair, and we're gonna scatter it around the place when we're done.
Good idea.
Frame the bugbears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, whenever he talked about wizards and scrolls and witches and all that, your time in Numestria has definitely, you have seen all that. You've used scrolls.
The only place in the world that's magic.
Nobody finds that.
Well, this is new, so you guys have only ever known this place.
Right.
Corbin has left the continent and been to another place.
Fancy.
Yeah, that's where he studied.
So they sound like a bunch of backward barbarians to us, because of course they do.
My plan is when we get control, there's nothing in scripture saying magic is bad. So, freedom of magic is what I'm going to propose when we get to control.
Another thing you could do with a quest to the Elder Tree.
Ooh, shit! That actually, if we go making her a witch queen route, her coming back as both a witch queen and with a branch of the Elder Tree in hand, and your order theoretically by her side, like.
I'm only concerned I'm doing all of those.
We can if we have that big of a win,
But
where we potentially have like a king. I mean, if the stories I've heard are true, witches are something really fucking scary. So I mean, they can have their little win, and then we come back a few months later with, power.
Rolling in with a royal flush, they call it.
Somebody roll me a survival.
Not nope. I know how to survive in a pit fight.
12.
A 12. So you're not. You haven't been home in a long time, right? You kind of just you just now crossed the sea and then got here, and it's the beginning of Overwinter. You haven't been here since you were a kid, so you're not sure how long before Overwinter actually bears down upon you, and how severe it is. You just remember it's very, very dangerous, severe. Like, yeah, it's bad. I mean, there's a reason that all the tribes come together, to like, they're kind of locked down. It's like we can't. What are we gonna do? All kill each other, or no? We have to air out our grievances, right? So, it takes. What I'll say is, from the maps, right? And under normal conditions, it would take about a week's worth of travel to get to Drakenfell Mall, right? The entrance, and then it would take about a week back, right? It's about 2 weeks before like a frost fall, before a frost, which is when everything gets covered in ice and it starts to become dangerous to be outside, kind of thing. So it's it's a week to get there, and it's about 2 weeks before it's almost like treacherous, right? As the frost creeps down from the mountains and things start to become real bad. That's when people start really dying that are in healthy and good condition and equipped. So, and it's not just that it's cold that gets you, it's that you could fall, you can yawn. By the way, you don't have to. You're like,
he probably used it.
yeah, you're allowed to yawn. It's fine. You can have bodily functions. It's fine. It's socially acceptable here at this table. So it's about like 2 weeks before this frost hits, and this is whenever the nights become long and the days become short, and things begin to the monsters of this world begin to be more, like they're hunting more. Predators are hunting more because there's less resources and things, right?
That just sounds like free food to me.
To them as well.
So with me being on the grounds more than these guys, and he's been locked up.
Yeah, you would definitely you would know the castle the best at this point.
And I would probably know where the closest elder tree would be.
Yeah. So the elder tree is actually in the mountain. Is in the mountains. So that would be an extreme, already dangerous.
Mhm.
But now those conditions of the mountains are creeping into the land. So going there is even more dangerous, and especially in overwinter, it would be almost nightmarish. It would be hellacious and heroic. Um, Imagine a 1900s adventurer going to the bottom of the world, sailing a ship to Antarctica or like the North or South Pole or something. They're never coming back. You might as well sail to the edge of the world and back, right? It's too dangerous. So it would be, it's possible. Obviously, you guys can go, and I won't kill you just because you're trying. I'll make the dice do that. But it would be to get to an elder tree would be very treacherous.
I was hoping you'd say there was one in the garden.
No.
That's
So
probably a little too easy.
go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll me a. Go ahead and roll me a history, religion,
Sorry.
or history or religion,
I'll do history.
or some other. You can look at your skills. Something that would that would lead you to having knowledge about what an elder tree is. And you could
I'll just do intelligent history.
you could use your history. You just want to do history, okay? And is there anybody else that you would like to? Anybody like to give her advantage or anything?
I would not about any of that shit.
Guidance, okay. So
Before.
give her what is the Sundarian guidance like?
Feel like it warm. So I don't even know how. I know you're
what's the-
thinking of it? I guess.
What's guidance stuff with verbal
It's
static
probably like
material?
talking about it as we're like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure
There's nobody around us.
No, you guys. Yeah,
It's kind of like.
I've been pushing the bookshelves to the door every night that we
Yeah.
It's fine.
like having lunch and just, yeah. What verbal static material? Okay, what are the
May your memory serve you. And symbol.
of some you pull out a symbol of Sandaria? Okay, well, what is the symbol? Or what? How do you keep it? You keep it like on a chain. Okay.
I'll put it in
It's
my
like an ember.
bubble.
Like an amber.
Ember.
Oh, nice. Of what kind of what? What was burnt? I know what an ember is. It's something that is
I'll do the
been
triangle
wood that
with
has
four
been
dots.
burned down. Yeah,
Showing
shaped like a flame. But
Oh.
what was burned down to make it? Like what? An ember is like something that has been burned.
Well, it was just amulet of like a symbol, like a flame.
But I like the idea that it's something that was actually burned. Okay, so it is your holy relic gifted to you
swirl.
as an acolyte, right? And it is a ember of it is it's a bog bog iron. Is that what we called it? The in the Murkmire the petrified like tree
We'll give
resource.
it Karameki or with it.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Fly
Okay.
over the
So it's
Aquarius.
it's a bog iron, which is a petrified kind of a tree in the Murkmire or whatever. And so it's been so you hold it and it's a magic item that is gifted to you. So it kind of constantly has this warmth to it. And it has one other property that we can determine now, or we can determine later. If you wait till level 20 to determine it, it'll be a level 20. It'll be like somewhere around there, but we'll kind of scale it to its purpose, right? Or scale it to its relevance later, or we can make it now, and it'll be something that a level 1 character would have, basically. Is the idea.
No, so probably later.
Later? Okay. So it kind of constantly brings this warmth to you. This kind of ember, and it's kind of even almost crackling like an ember. As it shimmers, these like kind of petrified gems within it as it moves throughout the light. It's this internal glow. You hold it up. May your memory serve you.
Yeah.
Come on, think.
Getting
I believe in you.
Getting the
Okay, so roll
Getting
two.
the
Yeah.
liquid rounded up in here.
Nice.
Here.
All right.
Hey.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so
Wait a minute. Okay.
16 plus
We're waiting.
2 is 18 and then a 2.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Elder trees. Elder trees are a leftover symbol of importance and place of importance from the old religions that have been overtaken by Sandaria and the witches. So it wasn't exactly connected to witchcraft. It's even older than that. But it's a place of power that is so integrated into the belief structure of these people that like the Sundarian church couldn't vilify it. Right? And so it's so it's not that it's good or bad, but it's just powerful, and it's kind of how it's like incorporating in a religion's symbols and beliefs into the new religion. So this elder tree, Sundaria's was gave it the light to grow, as it were, right? And so therefore it was of course she was okay. Of course it's a good thing, or she wouldn't have given it the light to grow, kind of thing. Her powers and was what created it, is the religiously how they describe it, but it as a place of importance. Some say the birth of witchcraft. The first witch, the first wand, was made by a branch of the elder tree, and there are you've read through the archives and things that wood from the elder tree makes powerful artifacts that some witches have used, but they did not create them themselves, and they weren't intrinsically witchcraft, but rather they just utilized them, right? And so it's that's what this elder tree is. It's this place of power and importance that almost nobody has gone to. Almost everything you know about it is from a time in the past, and it's just these objects that kind of left over, were left over, accounts of objects that were left over, and nobody's traveled to the elder tree to gather to do this for this law since before the witchfire, or since before these are things that people, it's so far in the mountains and tucked away that it just, people have been so focused on what's going on in the mind that nobody's really traveled there, right? Some say it might not exist, but you've seen pictures and accounts of it that are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. So that's what the elder tree is.
Alright, so I guess we won't be going there.
I mean, you can. You absolutely can, and it would be extremely powerful.
We need to work on getting into this
Well,
reliquary.
there's another tree we could go to.
So many freaking trees.
What tree is this?
Well, we'd have to go across the ocean.
Oh,
Good on that. I don't trust boats.
People over there literally live next to their tree.
It's weird. They sound weird. Tell them I hate them.
Elves.
That explains it.
The elves of this land are dark, or wood elves, as it were, but tribal and wild. They're very much wild.
So
Yeah, when you met the elves, they were very the fact that they emulated society so much was very interesting, as the elves here
Yeah.
emulate and uphold these like ancient tenets of nature more so, and revere that. But then you get
Different worlds almost.
you see the high elves and their ceremonies and their about tradition and human experience and or like like
Cravat everywhere.
yeah, cravats, yeah. You saw somebody who had been dancing for 30 days in a row as a performance piece of poetry, and for a birthday gift for another elf.
I don't share that. I want them to know I watched that.
You watched it.
I said I don't want them to know I.
You don't want them to know you watched that. Yeah. Did you? How long was it? There was an elf that was weeping at the beauty of it. Whenever you got there, and was still weeping at the beauty of it by the time you left.
So do we want to rob and possibly murder the archivist?
Murder would be secondary. But
Yeah, it's plan B. But if he wakes up, I mean, if he sees us, he's got to go. And the best way for him to go is Lilith here, because as I understand it, if I understand the curious whispers that she's been giving me, she has a spell that can really mess up the mind. Really mess it up.
wouldn't be a witness at that point.
Right. Okay, so if that's the case, I'm going to go introduce myself to the bugbears real quick and steal some fistfuls of fur. I'll be back in like an hour or two.
Okay. So you're gonna go.
I'm going to go and I'm just
Do some shenanigans.
introduce myself to him with like, a firm handshake, and then I'll clasp and then I'll just try to like pull off as much fur as I can.
Just on like
the sheer
first
string.
bugbear you find.
I mean, every bugbear I find until they start getting angry and or suspicious.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
It's hooked on your leather strap.
I don't know. What the hell do you roll here?
And
Sleight of hand. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sleight of hand would be good. You choose what. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you choose the.
No! Oh my god, I'll see if anyone want to wrestle, right?
Oh.
That'll give me a lot of chance to get covered in hair.
Okay.
Oh, you gonna wrestle him?
Okay. So you want. Okay. So the first. So. All right.
Shenanigans.
There are ways to settle disputes outside of the clan hold, and one of them is through physical contest.
Okay.
And think boxing matches and fight, things. Yeah. And you can put forth your champion to do that. So
I'm going for a
Hydrate.
much more informal.
Hydrate. Hydrate.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not
Think
hydrating. It's soda. I need water. So
Here you go.
you want to do something a little bit more.
Just informal. Like go to their quarter. Well, I'm assuming they have quarters in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, just going
that's
in
fine.
like introducing myself to him. I'll do the handshake thing for a bit, but I'll
Okay.
I always wanted to see how strong a bugbear really is. Can we wrestle?
All right. Okay. Then you choose the social skill that you're going to use to
Intimidation. I'll make it sound like I've broken everyone else I've ever wrestled with. I was hoping a bugbear could at least stand 30 seconds with me.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Roll it.
Thing is full
A
of
6.
shenanigans.
Okay. So without
Ooh.
the help of somebody else to kind of initiate socially that to wrestle a bugbear, you're not going to be able to get the hair that way.
Oh,
Like
I'm just going to no.
just do a big old bear hug.
Yeah. It is tradition in the Almaty culture here. I'm just gonna hug the closest one.
Okay, so you just go and grab one. All right, cool. They hate it. It's weird that they're met like this 3 is like socially. This is kind of
Very, very faux pas. Good.
Oh yeah. Okay, and then so they're gonna try to they're gonna push you away. They're gonna try to break free and do all that, but you want to grab the hair anyway.
I want to get, yeah.
Do you want to make it seem like do you want? So how do you? What skill are you going to use to try to grab it? Basically, are you going to make? You're going to like
Strength, just fucking like not
just
relax my hand as I'm pulled away from them and just take a clump
you're
of
just
hair.
gonna you're just gonna pull like you're just gonna pull out a big clump of hair. Okay, interesting. So then it's gonna be a. So are you trying to hide that you're just pulling a big fistful of hair out?
I'm gonna try to make it look like it's me being just sort of negligent or just not paying mind as I'm being pulled away.
You're gonna try to be a little deceitful about it.
A little bit.
Okay, what skill do you use to be deceitful?
I suppose. Sleight of hand.
Go ahead and roll that in.
Okay, that's a 21.
21. Okay. So they push you off. You get the hair. They and then the other bugbears are like they look to the person that you pulled the hair from or whatever, and they're like, what the. Like they walk away from you and they come back and you can see they're talking to each other like, what was that about? It's like, I don't know who they were. Like, who was that? I don't know. I've never seen that person in my life. Like, pull a big chunk of hair out of me. And as they're like packing up to leave, like everybody's, they're all watching you. Like, are you gonna come over to us or whatever?
Put my hands on my hips and say, "A pleasure meeting you" in the traditional Almasi fashion. And then I'm gonna leave.
And then just leave. Okay. They're so confused. They have passive insight. They had no they have no idea who you are. They don't know what that was. And then the way they're packing up, they don't have time for whatever the fuck this is. Like, this is weird. And they so you do get a fistful of this bugbear here.
Right. Yeah. Come back in the room.
So you guys have a plan to kill the
Maybe kill.
If
If he wakes up.
he wakes up.
Yeah, what's you call him? The Grand Archivist, Master Archivist, Master Archivist.
You're friends with the castle staff a little bit, right?
Well,
She is staff.
I am staff.
So maybe. Oh,
I work in the library with the
I am the help.
with little lady Gracer that just takes an hour to go from one desk to the other. That's only 4 foot apart.
right. I was thinking, just as a further step, if we could sedate his like tea or whatever tonight, but I don't know if that's feasible.
He's kind of on from just being connected to the staff. Yeah, nobody is like he's on. He's being socially isolated, so that way he doesn't get word of his replacement, basically. So he can't make any moves with the power he has before they take it.
Like he's on administrative leave.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Administrative house arrest.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so you can assume he might know what's happening, but then you can also assume that maybe he's like, well, no, I'm just being crazy. Like, no, it's gonna be, don't do anything crazy. Maybe that's not it. But you don't know because there's like they don't want any information kind of pouring in and out of that area. Provisions. As they're doing this, so you trying to go before he meets with the solstice? Are you guys trying to do something? Or is the what you need to be thinking about? Provisions. What are you trying to get? Well, what provisions are you trying to get? And through what means?
Well, I mean, I guess I need to figure out how many days the estimated travel is.
Okay.
To and fro.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll just take that up to the prince and ask, see what he's supplying since we are doing this for him.
Got you. Oh, okay. So, absolutely, the prince gives you basically access to the coffers of that he has to, right? So he has lots of resources. So you have the resources of the prince available to you. So, whenever it comes to how long it's going to take to get there and back and whatnot, are you a survivalist and guide? Like, none of you guys do that, right? Okay, cool. So you would need somebody to do that, or if you're trying to, somebody can tell you, right, and like plan out the trip for you, or somebody can come with you.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on the prince's dime,
It's on the prince's dime.
Just find a guide.
Okay. Find a guide. The guide is able to so the trip there is a week. The trip back would be a week, and then but the time spent inside the mall finding what you guys are looking for. Are you showing are you telling the guide what you're looking for prior, like showing him the 2 maps kind of thing?
Probably just the locations that we need to go, not anything specific.
Okay, so just that you
Like
will
we need the best route to this place and the best route to this place.
yeah, to the Draken Mall, hit as many sepulchers. No.
Yeah.
Cool. But not showing him the map that had
That's in her belt now.
it's still in her belt. So not telling him about the one that was sealed and consecrated. Okay, cool.
I mean that's marked on the map. I marked that on the princess.
You didn't you couldn't because you didn't know the scales were different. So you know it's in the Draken Mall, but you're not for sure where within the Draken
Right.
Mall.
Well, I marked.
The big circle with
Yeah,
it's in the Draken
where
Mall.
we're going. Like
It's basically in the Draken Mall, but
Right.
you're not for sure. Like it's kind of like being like, oh, it's in this city, but you don't have any of
for sure.
the road maps, right? So
But,
you know it's,
so that way the guide would note the Draken Mall as our main.
yeah, he knows that. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but not that there's a potentially consecrated.
Correct.
Yeah, and how to get directly to that back. Cool. So, how long are you trying to spend within the Draken Mall and before you come back?
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably discuss that with our guide.
The guide? Okay.
See, has he or she, taken any other groups there, and is there like an average time that it takes people to go through, or have there been previous groups that have actually been successful at coming back, and where did they go within, and
All right.
how long did that take them?
Where the Draken Mall is located and how close Overwinter is, you could spend 3 weeks in Draken Mall comfortably. Before that's what guy gives you. You have 3 weeks within the Draken Mall before you need to leave. But then that also puts the travel back a little bit longer, which is fine for being to show up with relics and stuff. It's basically you have Overwinter to collect things and to present them, right? It's not that there's a time frame exactly on that.
First one through doesn't necessarily win.
Exactly. It's once everyone has returned in it, but by the end of Overwinter,
Right.
it's just that being out and just becomes more difficult, or returning and then going back out, kind of thing. You can do this several times until Overwinter by the first day of spring, basically, which should have a cooler name like Overwinter.
I guess I would want to prepare to use all of the time available, but of course, not spend all of the time available.
Yeah, so you want to give them fully. Okay, so the guy take you in about 3 weeks in Draken Mall is safe. Is what that's what the guide's prepared to do. So with just him and you, right? And that is how do you guys want to travel? the guy, so that the guy can prepare for that. It's a week on foot,
Not traveling.
not
Is- let me tell you about giant sheep.
Colossal sheep. Or Goliath sheep.
If we could get some, if we get our hands on some of those, that would be pretty rocking.
Yes.
What is the guide's recommendation?
So there are a few ways to travel. So there's on foot, and which is it's kind of it's not the benefit of traveling on foot is that you can be the safest, as it were, with each footfall and each step that you take. But you are exposed to the elements longer, you can carry less things. And so then that 3-week time frame becomes a little bit more difficult, right? You could travel by sled, right? You could
They like sled dogs.
yes. There's
Actually
a
wouldn't be
breed of
bad.
dog. There's a breed of dog here in the Boreal Mastiff, and they are like a sled dog, and they
They're called machine.
but these dogs are like trained in teams, and it takes somebody skilled in animal handling and to be able to drive these, right? And then you're taking care of them as well. And it typically has, like probably 4 or 5, we'll say 5, but like 5 to a single sled, single person sled with all of the things that you need to travel that far. So you're also taking care of those animals, but you need somebody who can drive the sleds as well. Or you can try to drive them yourselves. Then you have on mounted, and the mounts are colossal sheep. That's what they are. A type of like a Ute type of kind of big kind of mountain goat.
I think we go with the colossal sheep.
Yeah,
They
they
have to
sound
take
more.
care of packs of dogs. A lot have to keep it. Just seem like it.
Sheep forage for themselves.
Sitting here with a -1 animal handling, and I think Zane is having flashbacks to all the times he tried to befriend dogs and then just got jumped and savaged by them.
Yeah. Like Zane and wild dogs. There was like a turf war.
Right.
Yeah, let's prepare colossal sheep for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders.
So they can absolutely do that. That will cut the time to get there doesn't go down, but your ability to move around within Drakenmall becomes a lot easier because the colossal sheep can traverse the mountainous areas, right? And you guys want to give them a cool name other than colossal sheep?
Thought colossal sheep was doable.
Okay, that is a cool name. They are able to traverse kind of mountainous areas, right? As long as they're not over encumbered with things, they can get to places you can't. So that gives you more travel options, and while you're inside those areas, overland about the same as on foot. They don't really shine there.
I guess I could go to the prince for this as well. A climbing kit.
Oh yeah, okay. You guys, survivalist is absolutely able to get your gear, right? Okay. So climbing kits. You want a climbing kit?
Oh, absolutely.
Done. Locked in. You have
Mind
a
if I mark it?
yes. No.
Can
I want you here. Here's a pencil.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
Fine. Yeah.
Medicine kit.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you got it. What else would you guys, let's see. I don't have a list there of things. You player's handbook or whatever, you guys can find exactly what you would like in that regard.
Did you say you had?
Climbing cube, ropes, pipe, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Um,
You will need.
I'm grabbing a crowbar while we're at it too.
Yep, absolutely. Got a crowbar. Fine. I mean, almost any item will be able to do this. So
Anything mundane, more or less.
well, I mean, yeah. Well, even mundane, yes, but also just available. Things that are available are within your purview. It's the money. The money isn't something that is going to be the issue.
Right.
Rather, it's the
How do we get it or make it?
well, no, you don't have to do that.
No,
It's
not
a-
we, but like the society that we are in. We.
No, it's carrying it. It's like the strength of your mounts with your weight and the weight of your gear.
They're colossal quadrupeds. I should hope that. Yeah.
What their carry weight is. Yeah.
I hope it's pretty decent.
What about, are potions a thing up here?
Potions. Are potions a thing up here? So you still have point of inspiration? I can roll for poultices and medicines and things like that are that would be maybe help your medicine kit, right? But if you're looking at something magical, like a magic potion, you drink a magic potion and a slash stops bleeding and heals itself just from chugging this thing, right? That's a little bit more Sundarian. If it's magic, and the only magic that's okay is Sundarian. So I'll turn to you. If you'd like me to roll, I'll roll for something mundane. But if you want to use your point of inspiration, then you can tell us how Sundarian magic items and artifacts exist in this world. What is the Church of Sundaria available to them? You're the expert. You're
The most available would probably be variations of healing potions and fire.
okay.
Was the
Alchemist's fire, maybe, or
that, and there's another one, potion of the fire element. I don't remember what it's called.
Mhm. So so magic rings. You obviously have your you were gifted. I've already established your spellcasting focus is like this magical thing, right? So and how what else? Does the solstice have openly carry Sundarian artifacts and what would you like to use your point of
Keep you
inspiration?
warm in the cold.
Okay. What would you like to? So, you want to use your point of inspiration for that? And have
Sure.
okay. So, yes. Then your magic potions are a thing. Okay. Other artifacts from the Church of Sundaria, magic swords, magic rings, magic thing.
I mean, yeah, she is also the goddess of vengeance and destruction, so probably.
Magic armors, magic cloaks, magic. Okay. So there are Sundarian artifacts. Cool. Available through the church.
I don't know how prominent would be here, though.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes, culture. I would say it's probably far less not to than Numestria or.
So I would say, I would say that because it's limited to their control,
Especially to
them
shock,
making
not to
it.
shocking all the rest of the populace.
Oh, they can. Well, but it's okay because it's Sundaria, right? So they can
Yeah.
be shocked and awed, but nobody else can have it, kind of thing. So it's the things that they import here, bring here, the things that they can make here, right? So it will be limited in that regard, but it is available. Somebody, what's the cool What's the cool holy sword?
Holy Avenger.
The Holy Avenger. There you go. So I'm sure one of the Sundarian, one of the Sundarian freaking Templars totally has a Holy Avenger. You know, like
Right.
that you know, the dude.
Every knight has a sunblade.
But essentially,
Oh
I would
god,
like to try
every
and
knight
get,
has a Sunblade.
like to try and get
Uh,
a potion, one healing potion for everybody.
so you would like to do that? Okay. So go ahead and roll some social connection with advantage, and we'll see what how far we get into artifacts that you're going to be able to acquire through the church.
Also, it is 9, so I know you're.
Oh, is it 9 just now?
I know you're talking about a hard cutoff.
Oh yeah.
I
you.
have a pretty hard out.
Okay, right on. Okay, so go ahead and roll that, and then this will be a thing. Oh, a 2.
2.
Okay, roll a d4.
You get acid splashed in your eyes.
2.
You can get 2 healing potions.
Okay.
Yep. Unfortunate.
It's fine. It's more than I would have ever thought I would get.
No, I mean, well, it's widely available. It's just. All right, so that's going to be the end of our session.
I'm just gonna keep it here.
And what we're going to do is, in between now and next session, we'll fully prep out and plan, get you guys ready to go out into the Drakenfell Mall
The bag.
and start looting some sepulchers.
Heck yeah.
Yay!
Going north, beyond the wall.
Oh, I meant the
West.
cloth bag. But
West, beyond
Yeah.
the northwest, beyond the wall.
I guess technically it's a little.
Well, no, I was gonna put all these back.
But you're already in the mountain range. Like Frosthaven's in the mountain range. Anyway, thank you everyone who's watching and who did watch and for supporting us.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yep.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Adios.
Bye.
Oh no, he's
Where's
done.